Welcome to a very special episode of Who Cares About That, a video podcast brought to you by the Council on Anti-Racism and Equity. My name is Zanai Leon, and I'm a staff member here at SOM, and I am joined by our wonderful panelists who will be joining us for the keynote for the Donald H. Ogilvie Colloquium for Care, and they will introduce themselves to you now.
Hi, everyone. My name is Fumi Hastrup. I'm a 2003 SOM alumna. I'm an education equity consultant, and I live right outside of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Hello, my name is Beanie Barnes. I'm a graduate of the 2008 class of SOM. I currently live in New York and am a screenwriter and educator.
Hi, I'm Corey Harrison, SOM class of 2011. I run a tech startup that's based in the Bay Area, and I split my time between there and Washington, D.C.
Thank you all so much for joining us and coming from the various places that you're visiting from. And I want to get right into it. When we invited you all to attend, in one way or another, you all asked us, why me? And I want to know why not you. What is it about either your experience previously or just the lives that you live today and your wonderful careers that would make you think you're not meant to be invited to things like this here at SOM? And that's for anyone.
So I think when you think about what Yale is, an Ivy League school, and then you add on top of that an MBA school, right, a business school, at least for me, I don't know about the rest of you, at least for me, I'm thinking, okay, well, the people who should talk here are CEOs, right? The people who have conquered industry, who have conquered society. And I'm definitely not someone who downplays my impact. I know I am having impact in my sphere of influence, but I did not think that SOM was looking for people having, this type of influence. I'm thinking this type of influence, and I'm not there yet. Yeah, so that was my questioning.
Thank you. Anyone else want to chime in?
Similar. I work in the arts, and I'm not doing the big finance thing. And you also hear of the names, the people, titans of industry that typically come here. So I was when I heard from you, I was like, did they mean me? Right? Just making sure. Very similar.
Yeah, my view is more, I admire my classmates who have done the same thing since graduation, right? In a very kind of like methodical, straight line. And my career is not that, right? Or it doesn't look like that from the outside. It makes sense to me, but from the outside looking in, it may not. So I think that's why I was like, are you sure you want to talk to me? Right? Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. And you spent some time here today in Evans Hall, and I believe that none of you were here when this building existed. How has that been for you, seeing the technological advancements and just seeing the experience of students? Are you a little bit jealous of the students of today?
I'll say something on that. Yeah. We were talking about this. Well, when I was at SOM, they were raising money for this building. It was here's the ideas of what it could look like. And you were talking about where the school was going to be. So it's been fascinating to come back and see what has happened. And I'm engaged to an architect, so I'm always talking about buildings and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this would be a dream. But when I see all of the resources, just even being in the studio right now, something we did not have. I don't know if I'm jealous. I feel like I'm more proud and excited to have been here before that. And have such a great community from the smallness of the school, and now seeing what is here now. I feel like this school is really going out of its way to invest in every student and to give them every opportunity to succeed and all the resources they need to succeed. So that just makes me happy. On that note, I'll say you have no excuse. When I see this building, I expect great things.
And Corey, I know you spent some time with some of our students today at lunch, and they're all doing amazing things. They're inspired by you, and I kind of feel like I saw you get inspired by them a little bit. What's that been like, seeing our current student population and all the things that they're involved in, and how does that make you feel?
Yeah, it makes me feel like I don't do enough, right? Like these kids, I call them kids. Sorry, these younger folks can run circles around me. It feels like, no, but it's exceptional. I think SOM students always come prepared, right? We always have big hearts, right? And for me, I think they have even bigger hearts, bigger aspirations, right? And candidly, from the conversations I've had with them, I could tell that they're putting in the preparation and the time to get themselves ready to pursue these big dreams. And that, to me, is incredibly inspiring.
Nice. I'm inspired too when I walk through the halls and I hear all the things that they're up to. So that's nice. And Fumi, I also heard you were having conversations about the visibility of just the different elements of diversity here on this campus today compared to your time here as well as the rest of you. What has that been like for you being here today?
Yeah, I was having a conversation with some students, and I said, so far for me, the best part of today has been seeing the Black students, right, and the community that they have amongst each other. Because when I was here, there were just 7 of us. There were 7 of us, and we tried with the 7 to create community. But sometimes to get the most out of community, you need the numbers, right? So that you have enough different people to tap into for different things. So seeing that today, I told them, I was like, this is the best part of this trip so far for me, is just spending time at that table, hearing about all the great, fantastic things that they're doing, and knowing, just sensing that community amongst the students. So that's been incredible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And I know that one of the things that this council and this podcast and all of the work that so many of our campus partners are doing is to build community. But of course, like with anything, there's always a long way to go. Do you have any suggestions based off of any experiences perhaps you've had during your time as a student, or perhaps anything that you've witnessed or experienced while you've been here today for our current community, not even just students, but staff, faculty, everyone across the board, or even alumni, fellow alumni?
I don't know the extent that which Yale does this, but I think most schools have some sort of reach out or visibility when it comes to kids who are in undergrad. But I also think that planting the seeds begin sooner. So maybe reaching out to local high schools and even particularly even some middle schools, or it's important for kids to see something they can aspire to, and being able to visit a place like this so they can envision themselves being here. So some form of younger reach out and what it actually means to be a leader in business and society.
Thank you.
Yeah. For SOM specifically, we had conversations, we've been having conversations so far about how do we get more connection between alumni and current students. And I was sharing with someone that as a Black student at SOM, coming in, the second years cared so much for the first years. And when we became second years, we cared so much for the first year. So we actually have this link, right, from the class of 2023 all the way back to 1978. And we need to make that link that we already have just more present, more visible in the school. So any opportunity that we get to bring alumni to the school, to have these conversations with students, I think is a great way to build, the community within the school, and also, just frankly being in the classrooms, right? Because there's something about all of us who look like us getting together, but I think there's also a whole lot of value in us being in front of people who don't look like us, and being in front of our classmates and our fellow alumni, and having conversations about the things that we do, the professional conversations, but also our journeys, right? Yep. Our journeys to who we are as people. I would love to hear, after graduation is when I found out that one of my classmates, everyone thought he was going to flunk out growing up, right? And he's from Mexico. Everyone thought he was going to flunk out. He was like at a he said 0.5 GPA, but his mom really, stayed on his case and encouraged him, built him up, got him the resources. And he ended up at a place like SOM. And I was like, Javier, how come I didn't hear this story when I knew you for 2 years? How come I'm hearing it, now in 2022 when we caught up? So I think any opportunity to just bring people to get the links that we already have, bring them together, and also share our stories with each other are great ways to potentially continue to build community here.
Thank you so much. I think that's a lovely place for us to end. That's what the goal of this council is, this podcast, the colloquium that you all are getting ready to speak on. And so I hope that your wonderful words of wisdom are an inspiration to the audience, the alumni who are here for reunion weekend. I know you both are also celebrating reunion weekend. And for our current student.
20 years, I'm old.
Congratulations. And also our community of current students, current staff, current faculty, and everyone who can get something from all of your expertise. So thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the invitation.
Of course.